Hello everyone, welcome to this week's weekly recap from March 2nd through March 5th. And as always, let's go! And as always, we start with the Wednesdays. We continue Uncharted where we left off with the statue puzzle, which we had to rotate in a certain direction, about like north, west, or whatever. Nonetheless, after that, we have to go to an underground church. We pretty much swoop through that, and we have Sully distract the bad guys from earlier, apparently. But apparently from the distraction, they are exactly where they are supposed to be. Nonetheless, we work right through the backyard where we end up. We have to rotate these discs inside of a building to open up a secret entrance down to the treasure vault. But we work through that, and eventually there are some mutants on there. And holy shit, those things are scary. Together with Eddie, the guy who captured us on one of the other islands, we have to survive for a couple of minutes till Elena figures out how to get a little rope down here. Eddie dies, and we climb up to escape, and we end up in some German base. They are originally called Nazi, but you know, I don't want to be racist. Nonetheless, after that, some more mutants come up. A whole lot of mutants, actually. And we find out that El Dorado possesses some kind of a poison that changes people into those mutants. After finding our way back, Elena gets kidnapped by the bad guys. We escape the base. We work through some of the older areas, we find Sully, and we track down the bad guys, and Gabriel, which is the main bad guy, gets infected, and he gets shot by Navarro. After that, they try to ship the statue to the ship, and we actually climb on and whoop, end up on the ship, and we have to actually kill Navarro. First you have to like weaken him, and then we actually fight Navarro, and that's where we end up on the game and on the Wednesdays. And now coming to the special day of the week, Thursdays, because it was my birthday and it was amazing. We started off with Uncharted 2. I was joined by a friend, and pretty much I did a little thing in the beginning, the tutorial climbing, the little flashback and how it all started, and more tutorial stuff about having to shoot people. And this is pretty much where the friend took over, because he loves the shooting parts. We have to break into the Istanbul Museum to steal a little specific sort of a lamp. This gets followed by a whole lot of big stealthing segments, because you have to stealth through everything. At one point, not much further, my friend has to leave to go home and stuff, so that's where I take back over again. And there's a lot more stealth going on still. And we actually get backstabbed by Flynn, who literally just leaves us and gets us captured by the guards, where we end up in jail. Sully has to get us out of the jail, and that's where we go to Lazarovich camp, somewhere in the jungle, because that's the boss of Flynn. We have to plant 4 bombs while trying to be as stealthy as possible as well, again. And we have to get to some park. We have to defend a lot till you have an option to destroy the tower that's next to you to open a pathway back up. After that, we escape through some tunnels, and we find a blood trail with the use of resin, which is some sort of thing. When it gets lighted, it makes blue fire. We also get backstabbed by Chloe, and we fake jump down a cliff, and boom, we're in a hall. After that, we have to work through a bunch of soldiers, meet up with Chloe. We have to work to some vantage points because we have to spot a temple. Believe me, that was a lot, and a lot of climbing. We also have to fight a chopper, a helicopter, better said. And we bump into Elena, which apparently is also in this game, which is nice. We go to the temple, and this is where we end up on the Thursdays. And continue on a Friday, where we left off yesterday at the temple. We have to rotate statue's arms and to open up a little hole, which fits the dagger in there. And after a lot of things, we have to make a dagger pull out, but a giant kind of a dagger. After doing that, we find information of where Shambhala is, and we actually get found by Lazarovich. We have to escape the temple to a whole lot of soldiers again, and we have also to rescue Elena and Jeff. Chloe later then pulls the gun on us, and Jeff is killed by Lazarovich because he was hurt earlier and could barely walk. We head to the train where Chloe was taken to, and we continue with Elena. Getting to the train was a little bit of a thing. Crossing the train was a whole lot of fun as well, because we have to move over a walking train. At one point, we do find Chloe, and we get shot by Flynn. We do have that dagger back, however, so that was cool. And we actually end up at where the game begins. So we are now at the point beyond the flashbacks. Actually, we also are so very hurt that we faint out, and we are cured by this Tibet guy. And then later we meet Carl Schaefer, who helps us find, or well, better said, he wants us to find the expedition to make us believe that Shambhala is true. We have to do a whole lot of climbing again, and a whole ton of puzzles as well. After we've done that, we find out that Tibet is being attacked by Lazarovich. We work through that, kill everyone, destroy a tank. We track down Schaefer because he's kidnapped by Lazarovich. We cross a bridge with a whole lot of snipers. We once again climb to some stuffs. It's crazy. Later we find a wounded Carl, and who dies, telling us to find Shambhala and destroy the stone, or better said, the Chintamani stone. And we have to find the secret entrance to Shambhala. Then we also have this stone-shaped color puzzle. They have like a bunch of shapes who are linked to colors and are also linked to animals. Crazy puzzle. But we solve that pretty quickly, and we find this secret entrance that we thought, and we are once again ambushed by Lazarevich. And he sends us away to Flint to open the gateway, or better said, the bridgeway to the entrance of Shambhala. We have to do this giant stone thing, like you have a little circle thing. Imagine it like one of the Da Vinci codes, that kind of rotations. But nonetheless, we have to fight a lot of mutant monkeys again, which actually later turn out to be people. We actually now head into Shambhala, and we find a lot more mutated people who try to kill us and whatever or not. At one point, we find Harry, who's heavily wounded, and he tries to suicide while trying to take Elena with him, who, however, does end up heavily wounded. Holy shit. But we go after Lazarevich for one final time. We face him, or we kill him. Backdoor said, actually, it's the mutants that kill him. And that's where we end up on Uncharted number 2, and on the Fridays. And for the Saturdays, where we continue off with the Minish cap on Mount Kreml. We have to find a way to get the Kreml spring water like we did last time, and actually found it out this time by thinking. I should have done it more often. Anyways, we work our way up to Mount Kreml, we get the grip ring, allowing us to climb the mountain walls. We pretty much work some further and actually bump into some little secret wall, and we find the bomb bag upgrade for the fairies. We also later reach up with Malari, and we are sent off to the Cave of Flames. Pretty much the same old thing. We get the map, we get the compass. The item we find is the Cane of Pachi. We work through the rest, we head to the boss, we beat the boss up like it's freaking Christmas, and we receive the fire element. We bring this. Actually, we also get a sacred sword back, which is now called the White Sword. We do a whole bunch of kinstone fusing as well. We find a great fairy, we get a ruby back upgrade. After a long search for the sanctuary, we infuse the blade with the elements we have so far, changing into a purple kind of a blade, and we learn the clone skill to allow us to push some things. We also find out who Vadi is, who apparently is our head's former apprentice. We also do a lot more kinstone fusing. We head to the shoemaker, who later then sends us to Lon Lon Ranch, and we have to help this Mario guy, can't remember his name actually, and we head to the north entrance of the Minish Woods to reach this witch, because we need to get a wake-up mushroom for the shoe guy that's always asleep. We give the shoe guy the mushroom, and we receive the Pegasus boots, which now allows us to work through the swamp. We have to get some yellow kinstones, and we arrive at the temple, and that's where we call it a day. As for the Sun and Skyrim, there's not much to be said. We pretty much start off with the Valheim Towers thing about the bandages bounty. Took us about an hour to 1.5 hours. Holy shit. And after that, we went to the winter area. We get Lydia the Giant's Bone, which is an OP fallen weapon. We continue on to the Dark Brotherhood. We have to get 3 basic contracts, and where we kill Betilt, Nudius, Papius, and Narfi. Took us about a little while as well. We pretty much finish him. After we head back, we find that Sister and the Night Brother have arrived. And yeah, that's pretty much where we ended up on Skyrim Sundays. And as always, I would like to thank you guys for watching this week's Weekly Recap. If you liked the video, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Would you like to see more, or would you want to see more, hit up that subscribe button. Would you like to see me live sometimes, hit up the Twitch thing and follow my channel to get a notification when I go live. And of course, you can always see last week's recap by clicking the video down below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, this is Ratkanos, and I'm out. And I'll see you guys in next week's recap.